Hi guys. So I literally just uploaded and seeing I'm just finishing up. You've seen this one, go watch it. Go watch this one when it finishes. But I'm gonna react to this new one. Made
What if
by
amazing digital
Circus Theory. Okay. So here we go.
What if amazing digital circus characters were charged for their crimes? In episode 1, we see Gangle over their mask crying, and Jax walks up and purposely steps on it, destroying it even more. Because the mask is Gangle's property, this could land Jax in prison for a maximum of 93 days for destruction of property, plus up to 3 times the item's value, which a porcelain mask is around 50 bucks. So we'll slap Jax with an $150 fine for that. When Pomni is talking
I like the format. Okay. But 93 days in jail and $150 just for one simple step on a max that you broke? No. I would just need Jax to pay the price and boom. Simple.
about the exit door, Jax remarks that he has no idea what Pomni is talking about, and walks up to Zubul and rips her arm off, using it for a back scratcher. This would land Jax for a dismemberment charge, which could land him up to 30 years in prison. When Pomni, Ragatha, and Jax
Up. You said up. Not a definitive answer. Just don't say up. Say around. Then give an estimate. And not give the top range. But also, 30 years, that's a little too far. If I had to charge, I would give like 3 or 5 years. 3 to 5 years.
are on their way to meet
Or 1 to
Kaufmo
5
to
years.
introduce him to Pomni, Ragatha rings the door, but Kaufmo doesn't answer it.
Oh, God.
Jax reveals that he has a key to his room,
Okay.
and everyone else's room. This would give Jax a breaking and entering charge,
Yes.
which would land him 1 year in jail. He would also get up to 10 years per key that he has due to unlawful key replication and theft. Assuming he has a key for everyone's room, not counting his, we would give Jax 50 years in jail. After that, he reveals that he may or may not have went into
Okay. Backing up, the breaking and entering is fine.
He would also get up to 10 years per key for everyone's room, not counting his.
There's also more
We would
people
give
than
Jax
5.
50 years in
1 year per key. 50 years in jail, no. And also top application, it's just theft. But 50 years,
jail.
no.
After
And
that-
not charging anything, it's a little too far. I would probably do more than what I do have, which is 1 year, $1,020.
that, he reveals that he
But
may or may
definitely
not have
not
went into
50 years.
Ragatha's room and put a centipede in there, which is Ragatha's only fear. This would land Jax yet another breaking and entering.
Wait. Oh, so that first breaking and entering was into Kaufman's room. That shouldn't have happened because they were protecting him, trying to check him on what's going on.
Charge,
That
adding another year
would
onto
make
his
sense.
sentence. When the gang finds out that Kaufmo abstracted, Jax takes this bowling ball and then runs away. Because the bowling ball is worth around $150, this would land Jax a petty theft fee, punishable to up to 93 days in jail with a $500.
Okay. No. 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 Stealing something like that shouldn't even be like that. Stealing, okay, $500, I can accept that. But 93 days, no. No.
Fine.
Just
when
no.
Kinger and Gangle
That does
are
not
by the
make any
Zubul hole,
sense.
Jax throws the bowling ball at Kinger, causing them both
Save
to
them
fall down
or
the
just to
hole.
get it done
This
and
would
over
land
with, you
Jax
know?
2 counts of assault with a weapon, adding
That's
another
not-
20 years and giving him
That's
fines
not a weapon. It's a bowling ball. So it would be not falling under a weapon.
of $50,000. In addition, Jax would get another year added onto his sentence because of assault without a weapon, because Gangle fell in the hole because Kinger knocked her in, but this was Jax's fault. When they get knocked into the
No. And didn't you do times 2? Yeah, you did times 2, dude. Yeah.
fell in the hole because
You
Kanger
did something
knocked her
wrong
in,
there,
but this
so,
was
yeah.
Jax's fault.
That wasn't
when
Jax's
they get
fault,
knocked into
that's
the Zooble
technically
hole, Jax
Kanger's
kicks
fault.
this gloink in jail, which would land him battery charges
That's
of up to
literally
93 days and a fine of...
What is going on with these? I'm not trying to be mean, but for some reason, these just do not feel right. Makes sense, because it's their first time doing it. I'm a veteran in the glitch crime counts. Well, that other person's technically a veteran. Well, the veteran. But I'm like the veteran, yeah. And I'm not just saying that because, I mean, I have a little more experience, and I'm saying that since the Clinks were kind of destroying places, and they were kind of assaulting Gangle, Zooble, I meant, no.
$500. But
Just
if you
no.
thought that was crazy already, you
That
heard
was
nothing,
not
because
crazy
that was just
at all.
Episode 1. We still have to look at all of Jax's crimes in Episode 2. When everyone was in the truck getting ready to take the syrup back to the Gummy Bandits, Jax remarks how he's going to get into their vehicle and shoot them repeatedly until they're unrecognizable. Because there's 3 of them, this would land Jax 3 counts of conspiracy to murder, which could land him 3 life sentences. That being 1 life sentence for every person he conspired to murder. Next, he...
Good idea. But again, for the 10 billion slime, it was 1 person. I'm just gonna say, is conspiracy murder count when you're talking to it with other people and they do not agree with it whatsoever? No. That doesn't count. In that situation, it does not count. Just no. And a life sentence for conspiracy to murder? No. And also, they were the ones who stealing. They have the job. They can do whatever they want with them.
He grabs Pomni by the throat and
because
throws
we're
her
doing it kind of like the jurisdiction of the Candy Kingdom.
outside of the vehicle. This would probably land Jax another assault charge, giving him 93 more days in prison and up to $500
Reckless endangerment.
in charges. He also hits one of Gummy Goo's friends and knocks him into the truck, which could get him another assault charge with 93 days and another $500
syrup.
Next, we see Jax tell Gangle to ram into the truck being driven by Gummy Goo's friend. And while Gangle does not get the charge for reckless driving, Jax actually tells Gangle that if she doesn't ram into the truck, then he'll tell Ragatha about the figurine thing. And if you don't get the joke, I'm happy for you. Anyways, because Jax is threatening to release a dark secret of Gangle's if she doesn't do what Jax says, then that would land Jax a blackmail charge, which would add another year onto Jax's sentence.
It's more like coercion in
Ragatha
this
tells
case.
Jax that ramming into the other truck would be a very bad idea because Pomni is currently hanging on for dear life on top of it. Jax doesn't want to hear what she has to say though, so he punches her to the ground, which would land Jax yet another 93 days and $500.
Why do you like the 93 days and $500? All those assault charges are not equal. At all.
Once the truck emerges in the Fudge Monster area, Jax agrees to help the Fudge Monster to eat all of the candy people, which would make Jax an accessory to murder, giving him up to 3 years in prison as well as a fine for $5,000.
It would technically be accessory to mass murder, which would have been a big change. I charged him reckless endangerment times a lot, which would... I used to charge him life, and I was like, nah, that's too much. I did 15 years. Because again, we actually don't technically know what happened.
This leaves Jax with destruction of property, a dismemberment charge, 5 unlawful duplications of key charges, a petty theft charge, 3 assault charges, a battery charge, and 3 charges of conspiracy to murder. And I'll go over the full punishments, jail time, and fines at the end of this video, so make sure to watch to the end. The first crime committed by Gummy Goo is likely to be a Grand Theft Auto charge. While there's no way to calculate how valuable the syrup is that they stole, it seems that they stole quite a bit of it, so I'm gonna give Gummy Goo a Grand Theft Auto charge, which lands him up to 30 years in prison, as well as a $10,000 fine. Well,
That's when you steal a car. And also, yes, you can calculate it. I just searched up what Pomni's height is.
Did also drive a modded syrup tanker. For this, he would really only get a ticket around $100. Next, when Pomni and Gummy Goo land on top of the Fudge Monster, they kill him temporarily, but since it was just an accident, they would both get a manslaughter charge, which could land them both up to 16 months in jail.
Manslaughter is when you actually kill the person. So it would be battery, more than
Gummy
less.
Goose charges would add up to Grand Theft Auto, a ticket violation, and a manslaughter charge. The first crime that Pomni commits is not helping Ragatha when
If you charge Pomni with anything, it's just absurd.
she's glitching due to abstracted Kaufmo. This breaks the Good Samaritan laws and could land Pomni in jail for up to 6 months. And she actually does it twice. Though, while looking through the exit door, meaning this would bring Pomni's total to a year in jail. Next, as
No. Just no. Good Samaritan law? That means you're forced to actually save somebody? Even if that's a law, that doesn't make any sense to me. Like, if it's ruined, if it's in your life, personally, unless the person's more important to me, which I have no idea about you, I have no idea about Ragatha, I would choose my own life, to be honest. Okay? I would choose my own life in that situation where I'm with Bonnie, so no.
described earlier, Pomni would also get 16 months added to her sentence because of accidentally killing the fudge monster with gummy.
He didn't kill the fudge monster.
For all of the charges, Pomni only got 2, which would be breaking Good Samaritan laws and attempted manslaughter. Next, while we don't know exactly how much power he has over the entirety of the digital circus, we would know that he's the ruler, and because of that, all of the characters are imprisoned under his rule. Meaning that he would get 1 charge of imprisonment for each character that's trapped in the circus, which is about 90 years in prison for all 6 cast members, plus
That makes sense. You worded it a lot better by saying he was the ruler. But can't we really do anything? And also he was forced. So, again, I'm going to keep using that reason because it works.
$120,000 worth of fines max. A max of $20,000 for each prisoner. When Kane is giving Pomni a tour of the grounds in the digital circus, he mentions having all-seeing eyes watching over their very move. This would get Kane in some trouble for eavesdropping or hidden camera laws, which could add an additional 2 years and $2,000 to his sentence. When
Okay. But if he doesn't, wouldn't that technically break the Good Samaritan laws? By the reason that I've seen, it seems to break the Good Samaritan laws. He's doing it for protection. Okay? Plain and simple.
Kane is telling Pomni about the adventures, Bubble comes up and eats Kane's cake. In response, Kane pops Bubble, which would land him a life sentence for 3rd-degree murder because he didn't plan it out, but he did it just purely out of anger. Later, while still explaining the Gather the Gloinks game to Pomni, Bubble interrupts Kane, and Kane again kills Bubble, giving him another 3rd-degree murder charge. The final crime committed by Kane is when Pomni brings Gummy Goo in.
Oh, 3rd-degree murder doesn't go up to a life. And that would be 2nd-degree murder. No, that would be 3rd-degree, I guess. It doesn't go up to a life.
Into the circus, Kane notices that Pomni brought an NPC in, so Kane snaps his fingers, causing Gummy Goo to evaporate and killing him. This would give Kane yet another life sentence. All of Kane's charges would add up to 6 false imprisonment charges, an eavesdropping/illegal surveillance charge, and 3 3rd-degree murder charges. Believe it or not, Gangle actually commits
That was 4.
some crimes in episode 2. First, she gets a reckless driving charge for driving on the rocky road. Well, you might say, well, Jax made her ride on the dangerous road, so how is this a charge against Gangle? Well, actually, even if you are forced to commit a crime, you are still charged with committing that crime, believe it or not. So this would land Gangle up to 93 days in jail with fines up to 5.
What's with your 93 days of 500 lives? And no, if I was the judge, jury, I would not charge Gangle. Because simply being threatened to do something, coercion to do something, nah. Even if the law says it, no, that does not make any sense towards me. If Gangle had any intention, even a tiny bit of doing it, even thought of it, I would say, yeah, But no, just no.
Gingle actually gets herself another
And wouldn't it be a ticket?
driving charge, though, for ramming into Gummy Goo's truck a bunch of times, adding another 93 days and another $500. All of Gingle's crimes would add up to 2 reckless driving charges. I like you trying to do that's a lot of crimes that the characters committed. But now I'm gonna tally them all up and see which circus members would have the most prison time. And I want to save Jax's total for last because it's insane. So first, we got Gummy Goo. Gummy Goo starts off with a Grand Theft Auto charge, landing him 30 years in prison and fines up to $10,000. Then a $100 fine for driving a modded vehicle, and lastly a 16-month charge for accidental manslaughter. This brings Gummy Goo's full punishment to be 31 years and 4 months in the slammer, as well as $10,100. For Pomni's crimes, there's actually not a lot. She breaks some Good Samaritan laws, landing her 6 months. She breaks Good Samaritan laws twice, landing her a year in prison, and then because of the accidental manslaughter of the Fudge Monster, she'll be gone for another 16 months. This brings Pomni's total punishment to 2 years and 4 months in jail. But it starts to get interesting with Kane, because he's gonna serve a little bit of a longer sentence than the previously mentioned characters. First, he's got 90 years for falsely imprisoning everyone, plus an $120,000 fine. Then for eavesdropping laws, he'll have another 2 years and $2,000 worth of fines. And finally, he murders Bubble as well as Gummy Goo, which gives him 3 third-degree murder charges, which will land him 3 life sentences. In total, this gives Kane 3 life sentences, plus 92 years on top of that, as well as $122,000 worth of fines. But last but not least, and obviously who will be serving the most prison time, is Jax. He's got a destruction of property charge, which gives him a fine of $150, and then a dismemberment charge, which is around 30 years in prison, then 50 years for all of the stolen keys, plus 2 years for 2 separate breaking and entering charges, then a petty theft charge costing him $500 in fees and up to 93 days in jail, then a fee of $50,000 plus 21 years in prison for assault of Gangle and Kinger, plus more battery charges, which is another 93 days and $500 in fines, 3 life sentences for conspiring to murder 3 different people, 2 more assault charges adding another 186 days and $1,000, and then another year for blackmailing, another assault charge, and finally accessory to murder, which gives Jax 3 years and $5,000 worth of fines. Altogether, Jax would be locked up for 3 entire life sentences, 103 years, 3 months, and 10 days in the slammer, along with fines up to $57,500.
And again, guys, I'm sorry. I'm sorry if I'm being mean. I really am. For some reason, those two just were not good, in my opinion. Which makes sense, in my opinion, because it's your first time doing it, which is fine. You saw what happens if you do it for your first time. So, yeah. Thank you guys for watching. Like, subscribe. Again, sorry, or I am actually really sorry. It's just kind of frustrating just to see something that's obvious to yourself that it's definitely wrong. To me, I always debate try to get in my way. So this is why I like doing these reactions to these crime counts. Well, bye!